Hello, BookTube. I haven't made a writing video in a while. There have been two reasons for that. One is that I'm not really sure what these writing videos should be, nor am I sure what the writing space is like on YouTube. Most of what I have seen, I either do not like or I do not understand. Some aspects of it won't work. There are quite a few write with me sessions where the author tuber, are we still calling them that? The YouTuber will set the camera up, turn it on, and then just sit there writing. The idea being that you will write with them, that it'll feel like you have a virtual writing buddy. I find those videos oddly watchable, but I don't think I could do them on my own. I think they might end up being demoralizing if I did them on my own. Because one feature that they all have in common is that the YouTuber who's making the video will often be staring into space. They'll often be playing with their cat or fiddling with their hair. They'll leave the camera frame for extended periods of time and then come back. And that wouldn't be true if I did it right with me. It wouldn't be just me merrily pounding away at the keys the whole time, which might get a little depressing for those of you who haven't yet released that faculty in yourself, haven't yet reached that level of practice. But the other reason is that I've been busy writing. Which is another reason why I haven't made any videos about writing, because I've been busy writing. Although, not the kind of writing that I want to talk about now. I haven't been writing fiction. Some of you, if you've been watching this channel, you may remember that for NaNoWriMo in 2023, I had a fantastic experience. Just incredible. I wrote a fantasy story called V and I loved it. I loved doing it. I knew what it was every step of the way, every moving part and widget. I knew all of that before I wrote one word. And yet there was enough elasticity in it so that I had a blast writing it. Nothing major changed in those widgets, but I still had a blast writing it right to the end. I knew the ending, I knew the last story, I knew the conclusion, I knew the final moment after the big climax. I knew it all. I knew all that ahead of time. I wasn't groping at all. It wasn't pre-written, it wasn't plotted out, but I knew what I was going to write, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Now, one of the things I loved about Vio Fallow is that it is kind of a box episode. I intentionally crafted it so that I could return to this world and write other adventures in it. And when I was done writing it, and I was in the afterglow, I'm sure it was visible in the videos that I was making, I was in the afterglow of this great writing project. Naturally, the first thought I had was, well, all right, it worked once, do it again. Go back to that world and do another story. Not Vio Fallow, but something else. In that world, along that template. I don't want to do that. That's very, very tempting, but I don't want to do that. I want to see if I can find that feeling in some other template. And the indecision about that and the lingering afterglow of Vio Fallow has made it so that I have not been writing fiction. I've just been writing the dickens out of a lot of other stuff. And that has led me to slack off on needling you about writing fiction. Part of it is that I really like the superstructure of NaNoWriMo, the communal idea of NaNoWriMo, where you know there are other people doing it at the same time. And the first Camp NaNoWriMo isn't until the spring, isn't until April. So there isn't any NaNoWriMo event right now. I think they're missing the boat. I think there should be. Not every NaNoWriMo event, whether it's NaNoWriMo proper or the two camps NaNoWriMo, not every one of those events fits with the time frame of people's schedules. I know that a large part of the ethos of NaNoWriMo, the main event, is that you're supposed to make it fit, but nevertheless, a lot of times those don't work for people's schedules. There ought to be a rolling NaNoWriMo event that people are taking part in. I don't know how structured they would make it, but there ought to be another event on their calendar. There's only 3 right now. There ought to be more than that. And I have so much enjoyed that feeling that when I don't have it, I have slacked off on writing fiction, and so I have slacked off on browbeating you about writing fiction. I don't know if that means that NaNoWriMo needs to make more events or if I need to make an event. I don't really know. I don't know what that means. I'm a little confused on the whole business of AuthorTube. The strong impression I got from those of you who did me the favor of emailing me on the subject last year was that if I'm not finding the kind of videos that I want, I should make them. And just be the change that you want to see in the world, all that sort of stuff. I don't know if that's true, but I wanted to certainly put an oar in the water now. I don't have any writing progress to report, But thinking about this video, one of you nudged me yesterday and said, really time for a writing video. I agree completely. And thinking about that really made me think that I should have a fiction project now, whether NaNoWriMo is in business or not. So I'm thinking February. I'm thinking in February I will write a novella. It won't be a short story because I'm a fairly fast writer, fiction or nonfiction. I'm a fairly fast writer. I know a lot of you are not. I'm thinking in February something, and I just don't know what it is. It could be another fantasy story, only in a completely different template than V.O. Fowler, or it could be something completely different, maybe a murder mystery. I'm thinking a lot about that as well lately. But if I'm going to do that, I thought maybe you might want to do that. Maybe since we don't have the superstructure of NaNoWriMo right now, we're in the now what phase of NaNoWriMo, maybe we'd write together in February. Except I don't know what form that would take. I don't know how that would work. I don't even know what AuthorTube is on YouTube, much less interactively off YouTube. I know one thing I don't want it to be, and it's going to be disappointing to a lot of you, but I don't want it to be Discord. I've tried. When the cool kids and Michael K. Vaughan were making Discords, I tried. I set up a Discord of my own. I don't like the site. It's so ADHD and sticky. God, it never wants to turn off. It's got all these... I didn't like it at all. I didn't, however I was using it, I didn't like it at all. And I don't need it. If we're going to do something like this, a writing group in February, I don't need that. Surely you're all on Goodreads. Surely we could use Goodreads for that. I'd never looked into it, but I'm sure that it can be done. I don't know. I'm not sure. I wanted to make a video to make sure. I want to touch base and let you know that I haven't forgot about writing videos. I also want to use this video to ask you what you are currently writing. I'm sure that not all of you have stopped from fiction. I have both sides of the bed to keep warm, and I love writing book reviews. I love writing nonfiction. So I've been doing that, but I miss fiction. It is habit forming when you do it, and you miss it when you don't do it anymore. Those of you who don't write fiction because you think I'm not clever enough or I'm not a creative person, that's the element I want to stress. I've stressed it many times before. It is habit forming. You will love it so much that you won't want to stop doing it. The only reason that I have put it on pause for this last month is because my last exposure to it was so enjoyable. V.O. Fowler was so good. I'm not fooling myself that my next project, whatever it is that I pick, will be that good. I'm not fooling myself. But if I were to do something that wasn't NaNoWriMo, which if I do any kind of writing in February, necessarily it wouldn't be, well, then I can skip NaNoWriMo rules. Maybe February is for fan fiction. Pastiche fiction. I love doing that. Maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe February is the time to write a novella, a short novel, in someone else's creative playbox. It could very well be. I thought I would make this video to let you know that I haven't forgot about writing, and also to ask you what your thoughts are on the subject. I admit I am plowing new ground here when it comes to the kind of writing videos that I'm making. I'm not going to do write with me's. That would not work. That would be just me smiling and laughing out loud. Well, you won't get a chance to do it. But if you're ever to be in this room at Hyde Cottage and you were to be here with old friends of mine who have actually done that, there are a handful of people who have actually sat at a library table or in a room with me and we're writing at the same time. Ask them what it's like. What they're doing is pulling teeth, and what I'm doing is having a huge amount of fun, laughing at my own jokes. That's going to be demoralizing. If I were to do that for 3 hours and a write with me, I'd be turning off people from writing instead of encouraging them to do it. It's not going to be that, but it could be something. I don't know if it would be video related or if we would... I don't know. I don't know what it is. I wanted to make this video to touch base with you, ask you what you're writing, urge you to write. I have not stopped writing. I've just stopped writing fiction, and I need to stop that. And the clear demarcation is February, which is just a week away. So that will be the time when I will pick up something. What should it be? I don't know. What should it be? And what are you doing? And what are your plans for February? And is there any chance that maybe we can dovetail those two things into some sort of mutual accountability, writing buddy, partner type thing in February? What would that be? If we were going to do that, what would that be? I'd love to hear it. I just thought I'd make a quick video just to ask you and let you know where things stand. I have not turned my back on fiction. I have a strong urge to write pastiche fiction, which is forbidden at NaNoWriMo, except in the camps NaNoWriMo. But I observe the rules of main NaNoWriMo, even in the camps NaNoWriMo. So I've never done it for NaNoWriMo. But maybe February? I don't know. What do you think about writing? The writing dimension of this channel. Let me know what you think. I'll wrap this up for now. I look forward to it. So look forward to your feedback. Democracy. I'll wrap this up for now, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.